Hi folks, I'm going to deal with an issue that seems to come up quite frequently when a client comes into the office, tells me what he's been accused of, and he wants to bring in all of his friends and his relatives and everybody he knows to talk about how great of a person he is. We don't allow that under the Arizona Rules of Evidence. It would take, just think about this for a moment, if you had 100 people that said you're a great person and you could not have stolen $10 from wherever, it would take a trial that was this big and turn it into a trial that lasted a month. So we don't allow that unless, well, in this case, the state can't do it either, by the way. The government cannot bring in somebody to say you're a nasty person. Character evidence does not come in under Arizona Rule of Evidence 404. So when you go to talk to either me or an attorney or something and you say, hey, I would never have done that. I've got all these people that will say I would never have done that. It doesn't matter. It'd be terrible to be tried upon your past, whether the state was doing it or you could enlarge this trial and turn it into some kind of a circus that you're a great person. So the trials are just focused on what you did then, unless of course, in the case of, it was Bill Cosby's trial is the perfect example, where they brought in what would be considered prior bad act evidence, people that had been apparently assaulted by him in the same manner as the case in chief or the crimes that he was accused of. They brought in these other women that said essentially that he did it in the same manner. That may be the basis of probably is the basis of an appeal. As a defense lawyer in a criminal matter, I would hate to have to deal with something that happened 20 or 30 years ago that the state was using against my client, because then obviously a jury's going to think my client acted like he did in this case the same way he did 20 years ago, vice versa. So it's horribly prejudicial for a defendant to have the state bring in this kind of stuff. And likewise, what's fair for the state's fair for us. You don't bring in a bunch of evidence about how great of a person you are. And incidentally, speaking of the Bill Cosby case, he will be sentenced sometime here in the future, and he's out on bail pending his sentencing. That wouldn't happen in Arizona on a felony case. If it's mandatory prison, you get taken into custody right then and there when the jury comes back and says guilty. The state, I think it was Pennsylvania, where he was tried, probably apparently they have different rules, or they just set such a high bond that normal folks can't make a $5 million bond or whatever it was. I mean, I hate to tell you this, but if you're a rich defendant, you typically get to stay out pending your sentencing and maybe even pending your appeal for years. So that's a very strange deal that happened in that particular case and is not normal and definitely shouldn't be looked at as something that would happen here, that you would be out pending your appeal. And I've never seen it happen personally. Thank you.
This posted video is in no way specific legal advice on any subject. It is intended to provide general information for the public. If you need specific legal advice, call Chuck at 480-545-0700.